everyone, and thank you for watching this video. Today we are going to talk about learning languages. We are going to give you 10 of the most important tricks to learn any language in any moment of your life. These tips help us to learn English, so we hope that they also help you. The first trick that we are going to give you is you must have some reasons to learn the language. If we don't have any goal, it will be very difficult to learn. It is not a good idea to say, for example, I'm going to learn Italian because it is easy or because it can be interesting to write in my resume that I can speak it. No, it is an error. You are not going to have any success if you think that. For example, wanting to know what a song says, it can be an objective to follow, because if you haven't any reason to learn a language, why are you going to do it? The second trick is listening music in the language that you can learn, and not only learn the music, if not use the music to communicate. Okay, I'm going to explain you. You start listening music in the language that you are interested. Bruno Mars if you are interested in English, or Andrea Bocelli if you want to learn Italian. And at the same time you read the lyric of the song. Then you listen the song again, but now you read the lyric in your mother language. You can compare both lyrics and learn the sentences that you think are interesting. The reason is because music have the habit of staying in our mind.
Our third piece of advice consists of watching original version movies, whatever language we want to learn. If we want to know how to speak or improve your English, we watch original movies in that language without dubbing it. First, we watch the movie with the original English voices, but our own language subtitles to figure out as much as possible about what the characters say. Then, as we get used to that situation, we change the subtitles to the same speaking language, in our case, English, and we keep on watching the movie that way until we pretty much understand the development of the story. Once we more or less think we are ready, we try to understand the most part of the movie without any subtitle. This is how we really notice the real character's way of talking, as it is possible to learn how to say something, to pronounce it, write or translate it thanks to a book. But listening to the same sentence while watching a movie helps to know exactly the way it is said and the body language that is attached to those words. Reading books written in whichever language we want to learn or improve is the fourth tip. However, not every book may be the best for this purpose, as reading El Quijote is not the best way to learn Spanish. So isn't reading Shakespeare for English, due to the fact that nobody uses that kind of language in their day-to-day basis. That is why we think the most suitable books for that purpose are those addressed to average people, young or middle-aged, those who tend to use the most common words and sentences. That is the way how slang is more easily acquired, without needing to know how broad or disused vocabulary, which is far from being the first step of a new learned language.
The fifth advice that we have to you is that you learn the English of the street. With the street, we mean the colloquial form of the language which everyone speaks in the street when they are with their friends or their family, outside of the job, having fun, etc. In general, we have learned as we are younger in the high school or the language school, the cultural form of the language to communicate. So, one of our recommendations is that we compatible the cultural form of the language with the colloquial form of the language which is speak in the street in day to day. Because if you express yourself like when you were doing one of those exercises of the workbook, you will be happy. And everyone knows that you have learned the language like a law, and you won't see it native. So let go by the colloquial form of the language, and when you have it dominated, deep in the counter form of the language. But first, meet their God. The sixth advice that we have for you is to imitate the accent. Maybe some sounds cool, seems ridiculous, and feel that we're acting, and maybe you think that you're imitating and ridiculing them, but you aren't, because this is the accent the native has. So, the best thing you probably can do is to imitate it, and they will think you sound great and fantastic. So, take off the shame and imitate the accent. It wins likes.
And I'm going to talk about the tip number 7, that is love. It is with any doubt the most powerful reason to learn a new language, but not always will exist the necessary conditions for it, because the things are not planned or decided, simply happen. When we fall in love with someone from another country, we want to involve completely in the life of our partner, to know everything about each other and talk about anything. So we try to learn her language. This is the great motivation and the perfect opportunity to learn and practice a language without any effort. It is amazing how we have no motivation to learn the language, and suddenly we think full about how you want to express in this language, just because you wish to communicate with that person that you want. It's the magic of love. You can buy all the books in the world or go to all the academies that exist in your neighbor to learn the language. And surely you are going to learn a lot about that language, but not perfect. The best thing you can do to really learn that language is to go there, to the country of that language, and make a total immersion. Without fear of making mistakes, and motivated to meet new people, new cultures, other customs, etc. You will be completely surrounded by things in that language as conversation, newspaper, TV programs, and so on. This situation will force your learn to survive there, and your brain will adapt quickly, and soon you will feel confident and you will want to continue ahead.
The ninth advice is deduce from the context. When we are speaking with foreigners, always there are some words whose meaning we don't know. So, if you don't understand everything, don't worry, because the most important thing is to grasp the essential information. To grasp the essential information, we advise you listen carefully and observe the body language that the other person uses. For example, if you are speaking with another person and you don't understand something, but you observe that this person is smiling, for example, you will know that this person is telling you a good thing. Sometimes you can even go wrong. This doesn't matter, because if you are wrong, you will learn. The tenth advice is use the vocabulary. When you learn new words, the most important thing is to practice over and over again these words. This way, you can make these words normal for you. For example, a simple word. You have learned to say mirror, so when you see a mirror, you have to say mirror, or you can use sentences too. That's a beautiful mirror, for example. Also, you can have apps in your smartphone to create and practice your vocabulary. A good example of apps is Anki. In this application, you can create and practice your vocabulary when you have free times, for example. Finally, remember that if you practice more often these words, faster these words will be part of your vocabulary.